Welcome back to IGN's E3 live show, streaming live to you from the show floor. If you missed any of our previous segments, you can catch them on e3.ign.com. Right now, we're going to head north to learn about the untold tales of Middle-earth. Let's toss it over to Dana and look at Lord of the Rings War in the North.
Thanks very much, Naomi. We are here with Lord of the Rings War in the North, which comes out for consoles this year, and it's from Snowblind Studios, which actually has a long history of doing great hack and slash RPGs. And we have Ruth here with us. Thanks for coming on and being today.
Thanks.
And you're a producer on the game, right?
Yeah, I am on the dev team, yeah.
Excellent. So how long have you guys been working on the game?
A few years. We were developing the engine, and then we decided to do a Lord of the Rings game since it's the perfect setting for Snowblind's action RPGs.
Right. So you guys have worked on, you did Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, and you did the Champions series.
Yeah.
Is there anything different about working on Lord of the Rings as opposed to these other fantasy series?
I think Lord of the Rings has so much more material to draw from, and since we're able to draw from both the books and the films, there's just so much content there. So it was really like this feast of ideas to draw from.
Right.
So that's been really great.
All right, and do you work with the Tolkien family then and have to get approval on things? Or
We work with the
for
license holders, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So in War in the North, you are able to play with 3 people at once, and it's kind of some drop-in, drop-out co-op.
Yep.
And one thing I noticed that's pretty different from previous games that you guys have done is that the perspective has changed. You've taken it down a lot. It used to be the both Baldur's Gate and the Champions games were a lot more standing up, and it really changes the feel of the gameplay. Why'd you guys decide to do that?
Well, we really want the players to feel like they're in the world, that they are these heroes, that they are going on this quest, and that camera view really helps with that. It also helps you switch really seamlessly between melee and ranged. So because the ranged combat is an important part of the combat, it just makes it really easy to switch between the two without feeling like you're getting jarred. And that plus the more brutality, the M rating, more blood and gore and suffering, it really puts you into that world and makes you feel heroic.
And this is the first time it's been M rated, right?
Yeah, it's the first time rated Lord of the Rings game, which is great because I mean really the books and films were very violent. It's a war, So it's nice to be able to be closer to that to that truth of the lore and to just make the player feel really more powerful.
I definitely noticed a lot of blood spatters when I was playing the game. It was good to have some gore in there.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about the story? I know it's set during Frodo's One Ring quest, but it's not part of that story, right? It's its own separate thing?
Yeah, it's basically kind of a different battle in the same war. So as the Ring and the Fellowship is traveling south, you're traveling north to, it's a very important quest that you're on. It's almost as important as destroying the Ring. But there are sort of 2 armies of darkness kind of coming down from 2 sides toward the Free Peoples of Middle-earth, and your job is to find and disrupt the forces in the north and to make sure that they don't come down and kill everyone.
Okay. And you're there with, are there 3 people in your party, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So you've got the dwarf, Farron, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And then you have the elf archer?
She's an elf. She's kind of a lore master, so she lives in Rivendell, and she's been sent by Elrond to investigate. So she's kind of his agent to travel out into the world. And then there's a ranger, Aranan, who is under Aragorn's command at Sarnford, which is this ranger camp near the Shire. And he's more of kind of a sniper assassin. The elf is a little bit more support and sort of battle mage, like area of effect stuff. And then the dwarf is really tanky, and he can take lots of damage, dish out area of effects.
Big fan of tanks.
Yeah, the dwarf is my favorite to play.
Yeah. So do you get any cameos from any of the characters that people know from the books/movies?
Yeah, there are quite a few characters that were in the films that people are familiar with, like Aragorn is the guy who sends you on your quest initially.
Right.
He's kind of your boss. And then there's also characters from the books that you didn't see in the films that we can draw from. So like Elrond's sons, there's a few other characters, and new characters like Balaram the Great Eagle.
Right.
So we kind of have the best of everything. The films, the books, new stuff. So it's been great for us.
So we were talking actually yesterday in our war room, we were talking because we'd seen Balaram, you guys showed it to us a little bit earlier, and you have this great new special attack, the call for Balaram, where he comes in and just, do the eagles talk?
Yes, the eagles do talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. All right.
Yeah, Balaram's an NPC, he gives you information, he carries, he flies you around, and then he comes down and just wrecks guys.
Excellent. So, Call of Balaram, can you tell us a little bit just about how that works? Because this is an attack that all 3 characters can use, right?
Yes, exactly, yeah. So once you've saved Balaram, which you meet him kind of early in the game, then after that, anytime you're out in an open area, not in a cave or under a building, you can call on him. You have a limited number of times you can call him, and there's a cooldown, so you have to make sure you use it on really important guys. So you call for his help, he'll choose the target that he thinks is the biggest threat to you, he'll fly down and just completely destroy them. So it's awesome, it gets mini bosses or even groups of guys, you can do some area effect attacks, and it looks amazing because he's huge.
So is the cooldown period for all 3 characters at once, or like do you each have your own individual? Okay.
Well, at the beginning there's just Balaram, but later on more Great Eagles join you, and then you're able to do it more frequently. Yeah.
What are their names?
Arminel and Baranthor.
Wow, very impressive.
Thank you. Kind of immersed in all of
Yeah.
this.
So, are there any other cool special attacks that people are going to be able to use that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I mean, melee is really the focus for all three characters because it's an action RPG. We want people to feel really like a melee badass, and that's the core of the game. So, I mean, they're all three powerful in melee, but in different ways. So the elf Andriel, she's really good at pushing guys back. So she has this force push where she can just push tons of guys back and do lots of damage to everyone around her, which gets them away from her because she has less defense, and it also just looks amazing. Farron, the dwarf, has this shield slam where he can use, if he has a shield equipped, he can stun an enemy.
It was very nice.
Which is awesome. It feels great. So yeah, they're very kind of different in melee, but they're all very powerful in different ways.
So when you guys did Champions, the second one, the second Champions game, you did like both a good and an evil aspect to it to add more replay value. Is there any sort of element that you're adding to this to make people want to go back in and play it?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of replay. So you can switch to other characters between levels. So if you knew that there were some secrets that only a dwarf could find in a level that you were playing as the elf, you can switch to the dwarf, go back and play through the level, find all those secrets. Or if you just want to, be a tank for a while or whichever. You can also, once you finish the game, go back and play through with your higher level party that you've leveled up on a harder difficulty version of the campaign.
Yeah. Excellent. Oh wow, so you can switch between levels, characters. That's really nice. That's a really nice thing.
Yeah, because all three are fun to play in really different ways, and it adds variety. Or if you find a really awesome staff, and you've given it to your bot, and every time she uses it, you think it looks amazing, then you can switch to that character and use it.
Excellent. Yeah. Anything else you need to let us know about Lord of the Rings War in the North?
It's really about co-op. So I mean, this game, Lord of the Rings, is about working together against evil, and the game is about that too. It's about co-op. You can play it on the couch with your friends.
And it's 2 local, right?
Yeah,
and then you can do up to 3 across online.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got system link. I mean, we really want players to be able to play multiplayer any way they want, because multiplayer is what the game's about. And it's there haven't been a lot of multiplayer action RPGs lately, but obviously Snowblind loves making them, and we love playing them. So
I don't think I have played one since Champions Return to Arms.
Yeah,
so I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this.
Yeah,
and it comes out later this year. Any specific time or just 2011?
Later this year. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you very much for being with us, Ruth, and have a great rest of your show. And we are back to Naomi.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Next up, we're going to train with the Dragon Ninja Clan. Ninja Gaiden 3 is in-house, so get ready for a whole lot of blood.